Well, hey there, this is Jerry, and I'm bringing you another episode of What's Broke Today. And today we've got... Now, this is a Scag Cheetah. Looks like a 61-inch cut. And the goopy part, the Kawasaki's gone, and there's a Craftsman 24-horse V-twin Briggs and Stratton sitting on here. His complaint on this is that it won't start, but if he puts his jump box on the battery, it will start. And I'd have put another battery in here that's charged and took his out and put it on the charge, but it may or may not take a charge because it only had 0.6 volts. And it also sat outside when it was brutally cold, so it may have froze and broke it, but I got it sitting outside the barn and run extension cord out just in case it doesn't survive. But if you look here, they have took a whole bunch of white wires and a few red and wired this thing up. Looks like they brought the starter solenoid from the Briggs and Stratton over, or the Craftsman, I should say. We have the ignition switch out of the Craftsman with our off, reverse, override, run, and start. And then we still got our factory switch here. He says it once it's running, it runs, it cuts, it drives, all that's good. So I'm going to go get my wrenches, finish hooking up the battery, and get my voltmeter, and let's run some tests. And I'm going to start out by, I'm just going to hook the battery up on it, because we've got starting out, turn my meter on, and like I said, I just charged this battery, and it's got 12.7 volts. And of course, it looks like he left all of the factory Scag wiring is unhooked, other than maybe where he tied in for the electric clutch. So we'll take our negative, and you know what? As soon as I touch the negative post with my cable, I hear the solenoid on the carburetor click. So, what do you want to bet whoever was wiring on this, especially since they used all these white wires, got something wrong. So, and if this thing does fire up, it is loud. It does not have a muffler on it. So we'll turn the throttle up, and let's see how he's got the choke on here. Oh, I was gonna say this thing should start. He's got it on full choke. And so it does start. Noticeable things I saw was the engine's not bolted down solid, and I'd say it's got some kind of carburetor or some other issue, because as soon as I take the choke off, it was wanting to die. So I'd say let's just start out and come over here and look, because where the engine plugs in for Briggs and Stratton, the gray wire on the engine is the solenoid on the carburetor, and of course it is wired directly in, so that you know, say as soon as the hook the battery up, it goes out the red wire and goes straight to the battery cable on the starter solenoid over here. So let's unplug this. So yeah, because as soon as I plug it in, you can hear the solenoid. And looking at this and thinking, this air cleaner lid isn't on all the way. I may call him because I don't know what his budget is. Because this thing's saying it's going to need a little bit of work. And of course, whoever was working on this put the pre-filter, which is totally wasted, on top instead of on bottom. But the bad thing is when we look down in the carburetor, it's kind of, which I don't know if you'll be able to see, but I'm going to get down here, and down here in the throat, see that lid wasn't on all the way, and we have dirt down inside that neck, so it's been sucking dirt straight into the motor. So, now for now, let's just, and my voltmeter said break time. Let's put this down on here and see. Oh yeah, he just had that. Yeah, that still won't screw down all the way. I might have to do something with those threads. Because see, this sucks the air up through the bottom, through this lid, and then down into the engine, so. And now I need a wiring diagram, and I'm going to luck out because this is a Craftsman 24 horse, and over here I have a Craftsman 24 horse that it's not exactly the same engine, but I'm going to get my laptop out, use this model number, and see if I can get a wiring diagram off the Sears website. Alright, so I got my laptop out, and I took my model number, and I just do a Google search, or do it in whatever search engine you like. But and first thing it pops up is official Craftsman front engine lawn tractors. We can click on that, and as we come down here, here's our owner's manual, or we can come down to the parts diagrams, and I don't want 10% off. And we go, there's chassis, engine, transaxle, steering, seat, wheels and tires, decals, electrical, schematic. We just click on that, and we can come down here and expand our diagram. Now let's see. I don't want to chat with you. Now let's see. Sort of solenoid hour meter. I gotta get up closer so I can read. Let's see, there's our fuses, optional amp meter. Well, that's our ignition. Of course, there's our meter again, and there's, oh yeah, there's a fuel shutoff solenoid is a blue wire, which comes up and goes to look like terminal A. Let's see our fuel solenoid. If we have a power outlet, we have an hour meter, and our charging system should all hook to terminal A on the switch. So I got a feeling that's more to that than just an A that I can't read. So we do the cheat function. We get our phone and our camera, and we follow and okay, so that blue wire comes up and goes to A1, and then down here it gives you a picture of the switch. And let's see, let's do this again. A1 is at the top at an angle like that. So I need to take that red wire that's going to the battery and run it to A1. So yeah, that's simple enough. Y'all go get some wiring stuff, and let's for a company that doesn't come around and live in my town, sure does want me there a lot. So yeah, so let me go get some wiring stuff and let's go out there and rewire that. Alright, I got my wiring stuff, which is real good when I drop it and everything falls out of the bag. And I'm just going to find, let's see, there's the wire going over there. I'm just going to come over here and just cut it for now. Let's see, I got two reds coming up. Looks like this just has one screw holding it in, so we'll just pull that out and flip this over, and okay. And household wire nuts are not the right thing to use on lawn tractor wiring, but that's what they did. And because one of them goes up to the PTO switch, the other one goes to the ignition switch, and our A1 terminal has nothing on it. And we was talking about our wire nuts down here. We have wire nuts holding our everything together, which that's actually on there pretty good, but that is far from the correct thing to do. So we're going to put butt splices in. But we're just going to, now let me get two butt splices out. And of course on these, that there, they have so much shrink wrap on each end. I cut about half of it off, because really don't need that much. So it cuts them down to about the normal length of a regular butt splice. Lay those there, and then I'm just going to come here and clip that, and I'm going to take this wire and toss it. I'll take that and strip it and do my good old fold over thing. And then let's go ahead and take this. I'm just going to cut that off, because I'm going to guess he got these two wires right. So strip that. That's a little bigger wire, so let's clip that down, and then I'll take my and this wire I'm doing now is the kill wire, so when you shut the key off, it grounds the ignition coils and stops spark. Put that in there, and then I also like this style crimper because it puts it down in the pocket and then smashes it down, and it makes a better connection, I think. And I'm going to take my red wire I got here, because this is going to plug in here. Have to run down, around, and over. So I'll leave plenty of wire out, and then I'm just going to follow all his hodgepodge of wires. Plug this onto A1. Which is the key's off, so according to the diagram, that should be dead. Now I'm just going to zip tie the wires together. Now I'm just going to go ahead and fold this back over and put it back up here, because I should not need to be in here again, but and so I've got to feed this down through like so, and go that direction, and need about that much. Probably could get by with a little less, but clip that. Strip the wire, and this still may be too big a wire to fold over and fit in my butt connector. We'll do that, and it is. Let's cut that off, we'll strip a little less. Okay, so you get that stripped down. Put our butt connector on. Crimp that. And we can pull this back up here. Put that one in there. And then, hey, that could have made that a lot shorter, because I have a bit of reach over here. So, could have cut both of those a lot off of them. But the good thing is I plugged that in, and I didn't hear the solenoid click. So, and there we go. Solenoid clicks. This is going to be loud, but I'm actually going to I'm going to see if it's charging. And it is not, but Man, I need to fix that exhaust leak. That is brutal. So I'm going to come right here to where my charge wire's at and turn the key on, and I do have power there, so let's see if it'll start. Ah, that's brutal. And plug in and make sure I'm getting power clear to the regulator, and I am. So next thing we do is go here to the stator plug in, and I'm just going to back probe it, switch this back to AC volts, and put your earplugs on. Okay, so I got good voltage, so we probably have a bad voltage regulator. So I'm going to go see if I got one. All right. I laid down here to thought I'd tighten the engine bolts. Apologize, the camera really ain't pointing it much, but I was getting ready to tighten the engine bolts, and I mean, when you look, that bolt way up there is, I've turned it up a little bit, but it was hanging down an inch, and now it's still about 5/8 of an inch. And there's these two back here at the back I went to tighten, and they just spin, so they're stripped out in the block. And then the one that goes up there, and that hole is gone. So I brought a bolt, went and got some nuts, and I'm going to see if I can get her bolted down. And another little handy thought when you're going out and buying hardware, you know, you go to Westlake or Nuts and Bolts or Nerds or something, maybe even Home Depot, and this stuff's expensive. I go to a farm store that deals with a lot of farm stuff, and they sell these by the pound, and it is so much cheaper. Alright, so basically all I did was put a nut on top of the bolts and tighten them, and I'd do that on 3 out of the 4 bolts, because where the bolt was missing, the threads were good, so it tightened up great. Now I just need to get with him and get the muffler, or actually the other pipe. I got the muffler in one pipe. Okay, well, our cobbled together Scag, I got a piece of my used exhaust pipe put on there, and then I took and welded the muffler to the pipe, because, you know, this mower was never designed to have that muffler on here, and so I just, basically did a little bit of welding and making it work. I put a used voltage regulator on it. Then I also took the throttle cable. Hey, he had it hooked up backwards, so fast was slow and slow was fast. I think all I got left is another bolt or something to go down here, and we'll start it up and take it for a drive. And sometimes we might ask ourselves, at what point do we stop being surprised? Because, you know, I welded and got the exhaust on, got it quiet, and I thought, man, this thing sure does vibrate a lot. So I come down here, and the washer on the bottom of the electric clutch is loose. I get to looking, and then the clutch, I mean, is, it's far from tight on the shaft. And I have this funny feeling that And I tried taking this nut out, or bolt out by hand, and it wouldn't come, so I may regret doing this. I might have just got lucky and they, oh shit. Yeah, then that bolt's jacked up. I was worried they took a clutch off of the original motor, but so far I think I can say they may not have. That looks like the pulley off the Craftsman, and I bet that bolt is just a little too long. Alright, so I took the bolt, and where the threads were messed up on the end, I took my blade sharpener, used that sanding belt, and cleaned those threads up, and I shortened the bolt about 1/4 of an inch, because measuring the depth up in the crank plus the depth through the clutch, that's what it did. It bottomed out, so it never tightened up, and it'd have been close if they'd have put the lock washer on here, but I didn't have a lock washer, so I used a red thread lock to lock that bolt up in there. And let's start this thing up and see what it looks like. And I'm moving the camera back away, so just in case this thing decides to fall off the jack, it doesn't kill my camera. And other than that PTO clutch wire hanging down too low, and actually I think it mainly just come unplugged, but plug it back in, because if it gets down in the belt, either the engine or the hydrostatic belt, it won't be good. And I think I'll get a zip tie and zip tie it to this bracket, and then we should be okay. But yeah, I'll get this, zip tie that up there, and I'll get this off the blocks and take her for a drive and see how it does. Well, I got done taking the Scag for a little test drive, and it drives, it cuts, it charges the battery, it shuts off. I mean, so we're gonna, once he wants something else done, I'm gonna call it quits, because I mean, you know, say getting the pulley back on the engine sure did make a world of difference, because it's a lot smoother, but I'm still not sure. Yeah, it really wasn't the right repair, because you know, it didn't fit up on there very tight. But you know, not knowing what mower that engine come off of, because I'm sure that's the Craftsman engine pulley and electric clutch. So without knowing what mower it come off of, it's kind of hard to price him out some new parts to, you know, a new clutch or for it. But you know, maybe could clean it up, might find a part number on it. But you know, say, I mean, it's a hoopty for a mower, so you know, but it is quieter. So I got done what he asked for plus a little more, so I'll just let him know what's going on. And I'll say I appreciate everybody watching, and love all those thumbs up for likes. Leave me comments if you got them, and I'll say, and the wind's blowing like heck today, but anybody out there that's not a subscriber, come on, join on in, because last time I looked, I was up to 270, so goal is hit 500. So I'll say thank you very much, and stay tuned, because no telling what else you're going to see on What's Broke Today. Thank you.